When a company has public failings and it is down 20% in the last 5 years, it is a company I normally actively avoid. There's something that I always do on this channel. If you are a subscriber, you will pay attention to this. I say, hey, this company is not great. Put it in your back pocket, save it for later. This is that time to pull that company up out your back pocket and put your money into it. What is that company? It might be Boeing. It might be Boeing. I can't believe I'm saying it because we have written Boeing off for years, but the time has come. But exactly why? Let's go ahead and break it down. I can't believe we got here. I cannot believe we got here. So let's look into Boeing. So I'm putting together a list of what I think are going to be the best stocks for September. I go through my process, I go through my scanner, and Boeing is like near the top. I'm like, what? Boeing? Ain't no way. There is no way. And I check it, I double check it, and Boeing just keeps showing up. So I go to a chart, I look at it, and it's true. Boeing is up there, and the performance is real. So Boeing is up 31% in the last 6 months and up 32% over last year at the time that I'm doing this video. But why? Because yeah, a stock can have a pop every now and then, but there's no way. Because remember, they had a door fly off, they had to change the CEO, they were going through a lot of legal stuff. Boeing has been through it, and as I said, it's not something, they've been down since like 2020. It's been a consistent slide down, but as most things, you can't be down forever, usually, right? And this might be the time. They might have finally hit bottom. And that is something I've always said. There's some people that say, every time the stock falls, every time it goes up, I'm gonna go ahead and buy every single dip. No, I'm not that person. And I've been waiting 5 years for there to appear to be a bottom worth buying. And now, after it has been up 30% in 6 months, and after it has been up 30%, more than 30%, after a year, this appears to be the time. And here is why. So one, you didn't miss much, right? Because you're thinking, well, if I bought it a year ago, you would have made 30%. Okay, sure. Yes, you would have. If you bought it 5 years ago, you would have been down 20%. Okay, you missed just a little bit, okay, because we're in September, so you missed out on a little bit of gains. However, there is a momentum indicator that I use. It says that we're just a few weeks late, but there is a lot of runway moving ahead. Now, we can't predict the stock market. We'll see if that's going to be true, but it looks like it bottomed out in April, okay? So April, I would say April 1st or so, I guess Liberation Day is when things change for Boeing, and that looks to be the time where it just bottomed out and started to take off from there. We'll see if it's going to continue to do so. The next thing is there was a change at leadership at Boeing, and they needed to change it something, right, at Boeing, because obviously things had not been going well. And after a year, right, things have started to take hold. It's not just me saying that. There have been several media outlets that have reported the same as well, and that is something that is good. Leadership can not only change stock pricing, obviously change the company. For example, in my own experience as an investor, right, I was a very big fan of the previous CEO of Chipotle. I was a long-time investor of Chipotle. We talked about it, and then he left. He left Chipotle and went to Starbucks. I sold. I did a whole emergency video about, hey, I don't normally do this. This is not my normal process. But he was doing a great job at Chipotle. He left. I need to sell. And Chipotle ain't been the same since. Right? Chipotle started to fall off that year, and I haven't seen it pop up in our top 10, top 20 stock list since. Right? So a part of that, not all of it, a part of that comes down to leadership. Leadership seems to have turned around Boeing for the time being. We'll see what happens here in the future, but it appears to be working so far. I think the other piece, and perhaps an even bigger piece, is it just so happens to be in the industry I've been talking about for the better part of 9 months or so. Who has been talking about aerospace and defense? It has been me, okay? I have been talking about aerospace and defense. The administration, for better or worse, has been spending a lot of money in aerospace and defense. Now, I wouldn't say that, Boeing is they're probably the largest company in that space. And you guys know I've been on Honeywell for a very long time now. But Boeing does slot well into that category, and the tariffs have kind of helped Boeing as well. And there have been some trade deals that have helped Boeing too. There's some order deal going down between the U.S. and China. I think it's for some jets and helicopters. These things have helped. They have put Boeing in a very good sitting position, and it's a place where, you know, they're protected to a degree from the Department of Defense, from the president. This is something that I can't say for Boeing specifically, but for this industry was something that was foreseeable. If I could call it way back in December of 2024, right, then I'm pretty sure the larger public could have seen it. This is why you should hit the subscribe button. That's the whole point that it's down there, and why you should stop waiting and go ahead and hit that button if you haven't already. It's also why I did a whole workshop about what you should do for 2025. Now again, I didn't expect it for Boeing specifically, but I did have a whole list of aerospace companies you should have on your list, and I believe like 80 or 90% of them are doing better than where the S&P 500 is right now. But Boeing is a surprise company of that. But again, it makes sense. They slot well into the aerospace and defense category, which is done well. That's where the money is, and it happens to fall well with where the tariffs are right now. Now, this wouldn't be a fair video if we didn't talk about the potential of a negative here. What if this is a blip where, hey, it does pop for a little bit and then continues its slide down? I mean, it's only been up for just a little bit, and then what happens if it just, goes back to what it had been doing for the previous 5 years? That is totally fair. That is totally fair. Now, I'll show a chart here that shows kind of what I was looking at the time. And again, what I tend to look at is that crossover. Okay, I'm not going to go too much into detail. I've done this a lot inside our members only. What I look for, and it tends to be more reliable. And there's some research and data behind that from UCLA. But what I am doing, the reason why I do it is I'm looking over the last 6 months. I'm looking over the last year. Over the last year, it has been up over 31%. So it's not just, hey, it was up over the last month, hopefully this continues. No, I mean, it's been a year, right? It's not something that just, happened yesterday. Now, just because it happened over the last year does not mean that it's going to continue for the rest of 2025 or beyond. I don't know, right? None of us know what is going to be in store. What I am using and what I am saying is, based on the set of facts that we do have in front of us, the current administration, the current Congress, and where their money and priorities are, it appears, plus the new CEO, it appears that things are in position to continue in that space for the company. That is what I'm looking at, and it's already bottomed out, it looks like. So I would assume that, hey, at least for the foreseeable future, the next 6 months, I think things can stay together long enough to make more profit here. That is the way that I'm viewing this. But Boeing isn't the only stock that you should consider adding to your watch list. If you want to know other stocks that you should consider adding to your portfolio, including a few ETFs, and this is the video that you want to check out next.